I want to ask you both a question that I got during my HBS interview. So we can go back to that pleasant experience. How would your closest friends describe you if you were not in the room? And I can see the squirming faces already. You can imagine what my thought process. Oh God, how do I answer this? But
yeah.
Jordan, how about you?
Yeah, no, that's a tough one. I'd like to think they'd say nice things, but knowing my buddies, I think once they got past just sheer mockery and making fun of me for once they got past that 3-hour stretch where they were just sheerly poking fun. I don't know. My hope would be that they would say that that I was someone that genuinely cared about them and their. In their best interest, and that I was someone that that closely held to that closely clung to my faith and lived that out on a daily basis, and hopefully that I'm a loving husband and a loving father, and I'd hope that they'd say also that I'm the biggest Texas Tech fan that they know, and an all around swell guy, but I don't know.
So how about you?
I think that's right.
I don't know.
I think that's
I don't know. I got some dicey friends. So.
Yeah, I'd have to echo. I think once we got past the good-hearted jabs, I hope they would say that they consider me to be someone with an immense amount of energy, and when I put my energy behind something I really care about. I hope that I've proved to them that I can make things happen when I'm able to do that, and I would echo what Jordan said. I would just want them to consider me someone that they could call on when they needed me, and someone who was reliable and honest and had a high level of integrity. But again. That's just
you're probably closer to giving the right answer that you want than I am that I want. I mean, you obviously have proven the ability to get things done. You drug me as part of the ticket to an SA co-presidency.
That's true.
I think that shows
that
you can get things done.
That was a hard battle to fight for sure.
That's what in West Texas we'd call that a tough road to hoe.
How did you guys decide to run together? I mean, was it was Sarah's idea originally? Or?
No. We had a conversation. We had both kind of been encouraged to run by a couple people. Right. And so we actually sat down after the candidate information meeting and had a really had a great conversation, and we started kind of talking about our well, if we did, I think both of us were still sort of undecided as to whether or not it was a commitment that we wanted to make.
Sure.
And I think we started talking about, well, what would your vision be like? Oh, what would your vision be like? What would you want to see happen? And we started seeing that there was an awful lot of alignment there. And we both knew each other a little bit from prior to that, just because her roommate's my L&D rep, and we're both from New Mexico, so we made that connection. There's an instant bond there, and we both like each other. I have an immense amount of respect for Sarah, and so I think when we started seeing all those things line up, it was.
Yeah. The kind of fun thing also about that conversation is that's when all of our differences came out as well, and we come from.
What differences? I don't understand.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What differences do you mean?
So we come from very different backgrounds, and I mean, I think we've this little shtick may be reaching its expiration date. But we come obviously from very different backgrounds, having spent a lot of time in Texas, and I've spent kind of the last almost decade in San Francisco, and politically we're slightly different, and we come from different ethnicity groups and different faiths, and so I think there was a lot of that was talked about as well. And I think the cool thing was that after all that, philosophically, we still were just in lockstep, and to me that the kind of superficial differences, but the core similarities is what gave me a lot of faith in our ability to kind of represent the student body. So
it's kind of a cool allegory, really, to the HBS experience, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
We do on the surface, if someone was just looking at our biographies, they would think we're two just vastly different people.
Be friends,
yeah, on paper it doesn't make a whole lot of sense necessarily, but the neat thing is I think part of the HBS experience is focusing on places that you do connect with other people and learning to kind of celebrate differences, but also learn to connect with people who are different with you. And for all of our kind of surface level dissimilarities, which I'm hoping is a word now that I've said it on camera, is all the things that we really do care about, and the things that it's amazing what, that those commonalities really outweigh to everything else.
Yeah. What do you admire most about the other?
You have to say something nice about it. You have to say something nice about
it. Man. I actually can't say this about many people, but I just feel like I could spend all day with Jordan and we would have an amazing time, and so that's the first kind of more superficial thing, if you will. I also think that the one thing I heard from my roommate Maura, who is Jordan's L&B rep, and that I have felt, more than I thought I would feel in the first even 2 weeks of week of our tenure, is that Jordan just ruthlessly has my back. Like, no matter what, it's just, if I go forth with something, he is just there right behind me. And that is, to me, the most important thing in kind of a partner in this type of role. So I have been very impressed with that.
So Sarah and I we've got a really good rapport. That's one of the things that makes it really enjoyable to work together. She, my wife and son adore her. It's great because in this role you're gonna have to spend a lot of time around each other, and you don't want that to be miserable. And it's great that we end up doing half the stuff at my apartment with my 2-year-old running around, and my wife being part. And that's really important to me. And I think the biggest thing that I noticed about Sarah from a ability standpoint was her ability to get things done and execute things. Just that she was a doer, not a. I think my boss used to quote this management kind of article called Message to Garcia that an MBA program in Texas kind of puts out called Message to Garcia, and it says one of the things it says in it is that it lists all these abilities, and it says, but the ability to execute is more valuable because it is far rarer, and that there are very few people who can actually, when you say we need to do X, Y, and Z, that can just get it done.
Right.
And but one of the things that I've really come to respect about Sarah is that she's very genuine. She's very genuine. She cares about people. She's very, I think, very. What you see is what you get. There's not, and I really appreciate that. I don't know if that's the Eastern New Mexico, West Texan in me that I appreciate no pretenses. But so it's been a great pairing.
Yeah,
for sure.
we've had a good time.
Well,